Civil society has been the voice of the people, but with time, the organizations have either faded or, do we say, silenced. However, activists still hold that they have the voice amidst accusations of going to bed with the government or foreign organizations. Our reporter Josh Onsare spoke to some activists and filed the following report.
As the country marks the 57th Mashujaa Day, the zeal of the civil society and activists in the country seem to have faded, with many claiming that the activists and the civil society is on the government's payroll. Others argue that they have been intimidated or silenced. But is there anything to celebrate in for the modern-day activists?
Because you have seen people struggling against all odds to send their kids to school, to do whatever. There's very strong belief in material progress. People would like the next generation to be richer than the last generation. That's why they fight so hard to educate their children, to do whatever. So that drive within the Kenyan, for me, is the thing I celebrate most.
The Mashujaa and the Mamambogas here on the ground, who on a daily basis make sure our economy is actually growing. Our Shujaas are the watchmen who are here on a daily basis.
There is nothing to celebrate. Our heroes are forgotten. Our stomachs are hungry. Our schools have no desks. Our hospitals have no medicine. Our money has been stolen. There's nothing to celebrate.
They have, however, denied claims of being silenced by the government, especially on issues questioning the authority.
I don't think the voice has gone down. You have to understand this COVID, and after when COVID came, there was a lot of measures on public gathering and crowd control on healthy grounds. So even as activists, you have to observe those health regulations for the sake of everyone's health and safety.
The CSOs were busy giving people unga and distributing things on the ground instead of being activists, So and the funding that comes with the terrain, has really spoiled, has really defocused the CSO.
Our organizations have become bureaucracies, so that there are small governments out of government, and sometimes that has really been a big problem, because this guy today will be in civil society, tomorrow he can apply and move to a bank, whatever. So he's a career fellow. He has no convictions, and most of them are like that. If you still have convictions and get out of the way, but most are just career-oriented people.
Some, like Boniface Mwangi, tried a hand in politics, but were rejected at the ballot.
The policy priorities. And who makes the budget? The politicians, you see. So get into politics and make the budgets you want and design the policies you want. That has been the biggest failure of the civil society in this country. And the reason was one. It was largely supply-driven, not demand-driven. And supply-driven is that donors would come up with proposals. Want people to do this, want people to do that, and people write proposals and then they would do it.
And with many being accused of either siding with the government of the day, others are said to be influenced by foreign bodies and organizations.
What must be addressed is political power. How is power acquired? How is power retained? How is power utilized? That's an area civil society must get into. We must get into power politics and say, here, these are our candidates, this is our manifesto, and we want to take over government and run it.
If it's issues of governance at the national and at the county level, how can you use your vote? How can I use my vote to ensure that we vote in leaders who advance the nation and who do not destroy it or put it to waste through looting and corruption?
We thought that we had seen tougher times during the Moi era, but really this current regime has really taken, clawed back the gains and freedoms that people fought for, So anyone who's not singing, the same song as the government of the day is actually an enemy of the government. So, yeah.
There have been attempts to stop me in what I do. I even got beaten up once, nearly lost my life. But basically, intimidation is a word maybe that does not exist in my vocabulary. If I get convicted that something needs to be done, I'll do it come rain or sunshine. But I'm not suicidal. I'm very conscious about my life. I'm very conscious of how I live, what hours you'll find me out, where you'll find me eating, which kind of company I keep, how I travel. I'm very, very cautious.
For some, there has been steps taken in strengthening activism in the country.
You too are a shujaa when you step out and do what is right for this country. So in what way? It's a day to reflect. What can you and me do to put things right where we think they are wrong?
This country has performed extremely well, comparatively. But there's a lot of room for growth in terms of even the local societies, the local communities. Poverty at the grassroots level is acute. We need an agenda to deal with that poverty.
Joash Onsare, TV 47, Nairobi.